What's up? 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 What is up? Whew. Whew. What is going on, everybody? I'm your host, Emmanuel E-Man Noisette, and I am shooketh. We are here to talk about episode 8 of Welcome to Derry. Let me just get this out the way now, right? Listen, spoilers. Okay, we doing spoilers for episode 8, season finale of Welcome to Derry. If you haven't watched it, go away, go watch it, come back on the replay. That's fine. If you don't care about spoilers, then you've been warned. I'm not talking about that no more. Okay, you've got your warning. Now that we got that out the way, oh my God. Oh my God. The amount of stuff that we got in this episode. Yikes. There's so much stuff to go over. I actually have to probably make a separate video for you guys because I thought I had time. I just don't have time. So I have to package it better for you guys. So I'm going to make y'all a separate video later. But man, first and foremost, let's see who made it out today. Let's give some quick shout outs to the folks. Shout out to the folks over there on the gram, on the IG. You can always feel free to come on over with the rest of the EFAM on YouTube. The links are in the description. But let's see. We got Kristen Pratt holding it down for the Mod Squad. Good to see you. 60 plus. Appreciate you. Thank you. Jay Brown, what is going on? How you doing? Dex, my man, what is up? Yes. It is time for the kids to go. The kids have got to go. They got to go to bed. Yes. My man Mike is here. What is up? Gothic Chick, how are you? Good to see you. Minister Crush, appreciate you coming through. Kiki, listen. Kiki, thank you so much for catching up. You have been missed. We needed you this whole time. Yes, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it on time. Okay. Deborah, what is going on? Thank you so much. Tanya, I see you. Appreciate you coming through. Tracy, I'm shocked you watched this. I'm shocked. I didn't think you was gonna make it. I know you a little scary head sometimes. I'm proud of you. Good job. You made it. Vanessa, good to see you. Appreciate you. Bad guy, y'all. Hello. CJ, what is going on, man? Appreciate you. D-Rail, how you doing? Black Prophet, appreciate you coming through as well. My man Mitch is here. Man, listen. Them Broncos beat them Packers. Enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, yes, I'm okay with that. Thank you so much for being here. What up? My man Derek is here. Listen, you know, it's real funny because I remember you wasn't feeling the show at first. You had to give it time. You had to give it a little bit of time. But I'm glad you stuck with it. Both say, what is going on? Animals are cute. Appreciate you coming through. Who else? Mark, how you doing? Tyrone, what is up? Amanda, appreciate you coming through. Who else did I see? I saw somebody else. There he is. My man Eugene is here. Queen, how you doing? Famous J, appreciate you. Anonymous girl, hello. Mona, who's that? Monastery. There we go. I can read. Monastery, what is up? Let's see who else. Ray, shout out to you. Lisa, what's up? And shout out to everyone that has made it out tonight. I really do appreciate you guys so much. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Okay, Derek, I'm gonna save your question for last when we get to that part, because we will get to that. And Kiki, Yeah, let's go with that. Hey man, glad to be a part of the discussion. Even though I'm super late, you're right on time. It's okay. I would love for them to do a prequel on the 1935 Bradley Gang massacre. Well, Kiki, I think you're in luck because given how they ended the whole episode, ain't no way for them not to do more. And I will explain my theory behind how that's going to happen and what it's going to look like for us. So stay tuned. I will fill in those gaps for you guys very soon. And like I said, and thank you for the support. Appreciate you always. Derek, I will come to that real fast, but let's set this all up. Let's set it all up because y'all, we are in for some nonsense. Right as the episode kicks off, we start off with a strange fog taking over the town of Derry. And now, if this does seem familiar to you, it should, because it's probably the same fog or myths from the actual Stephen King film, The Mist. Yes, that was a Stephen King film in case you haven't seen it. And if you have not seen The Mist, please do yourself a favor and go and watch it. I love The Mist, one of the best endings I've seen in a film. It was just fantastic to me. Love it, love it, love it. So please go watch The Mist if you have not seen it yet. But yes, this is all connected in the Stephen King macroverse universe. So the kind of, I guess the question, and thank you for this, Derek, because you did bring this up. Did you see the connections? Yes, indeed. Not only just the novel, but also the movie and a TV show, in case people missed that as well. But it's possible that maybe this event is what caused the mist. It is possible, right? So we do have that to go through and to consider. All right, so we have that. Of course, the military is in on it. They know what's going on. And look at this. While all this chaos is happening, Pennywise is sitting there watching, just watching, enjoying it, just like he did with the Bradley Gang, just like he did with the other events. This is what he likes, right? Oh, hold on. I got to write a note down. I'm sorry. I got to write something down for a theory. Just clicked. Sorry, I had to write something down because I'm actually trying to put a theory together. But for anybody that knows how to make a really good theory, you have to try to prove your theory wrong. So I just thought of something right now that might have proved one of my theories wrong. So I got to put that in there later. But anyway, we go to the Derry High School, we go to the high school. And while we're there, Pennywise is already up to his tricks. Keep in mind, Pennywise was about to go to sleep. But if you recall from the last episode, the military messed around with one of the pillars that woke him up. And now he's out here terrorizing these kids in their in their school. He called them in for an assembly, and the principal shows up, but it turns out that ain't the dang on principal at all. Well, it was, but it was actually Pennywise using his body as a puppet. He tosses his head to the kids. They're, of course, freaked out. This is crazy. He does his little two-step dance or whatnot. And, as the kids are looking in horror, he hits them with the deadlights. And if you recall, the deadlights, what it does, it can paralyze you. It can drive you insane. It's basically the true form of Pennywise, and the human mind cannot comprehend it. So it just, like, while your mind is trying to make sense of it, you're confused, you baffled, you bewildered, and you might go crazy. Like, some people might actually die. So it is a whole lot going on. But as you see, these kids are mesmerized by this. They are paralyzed, they cannot move, and Pennywise escorts them all to his carriage. And that's how we start this episode off. He is off to the races to be a terror for the entire town. Next up, we go back to the hideout, and the kids notice that this mist is building up. But they also see a bunch of missing children's pictures all over the place. And, you know, this, of course, is all of the new kids. So this isn't like the old pictures that were already up in town. These are all the kids that were at their school currently that are missing. And we see the kids are floating and following Pennywise, because right now, why is he out here with a dang on tuba being the Pied Piper of Derry? Like, I swear, Pennywise just be doing anything. Just anything for no reason. He just do it. Like, he's just so random. Anyway, the girls, they find the principal's head, and of course that messes them up, but they also see a picture of Will, and it shows that he's missing. So that sets them off and to go and help him. And in order to do that, they end up stealing the milkman's truck. I mean, he ain't around no more anyway. So the truck is free for them to use. Marge was like, man, listen, my uncle got a truck. I watched him enough with my good eye. I can drive this, right? So they were off. Now, back at the base, Leroy tries to call Will, but no one picks up. As he walks away, the phone rings again, and this time it's Pennywise who starts to mock him, and he starts to hear Will's voice that can also be heard. But did y'all hear what Pennywise said? Did y'all hear exactly what he said? I need to take a moment here. It's one thing for Pennywise to sit here and make fun of these people. This man said, hey, I gotta keep him fresh because the dark meat is twice as nice. Like, what? Like, who wrote that line? Who wrote that line? The only other person that I've seen say something like that was Freddy Krueger in Freddy versus Jason. Don't forget, now, I ain't gonna lie. Like, first of all, he was coming from my girl Kelly, you know, and he was just like, oh, dark meat. Like, I hate these people. But this is how a villain should be. Okay? I really, like, I'm gonna take a sidetrack real quick. I remember there was a whole little thing going on online when they was talking about I think it was Michael Myers, and it was like, oh, he's killing a gay couple, and oh, Michael Myers is killing it. And I'm like, first of all, time out. Villains are supposed to do bad things. That's what we expect from villains. Okay? Like, I don't care if a villain is racist. Why? Because that's what villains should be. Villains are bad people that do bad things. Okay? I don't care if a villain is homophobic. Why? Because being homophobic is wrong, and we want the villains to do the wrong things. Right now, Pennywise don't care about kids. He's clearly racist. This is okay. But my man didn't have to say the dark meat. He didn't have to say that. It's got to be the pettiest villain of all time. It has to be. Has to be. Tyrone, what you got? We need to get Pennywise an Oscar for the biggest troll of the year. Well deserved. Absolutely. Somebody got to give him something. Because that right there, who gonna beat him? He's topped everybody. And there are more examples. We'll get to them later. But this man he's out of control. He's out of control. Oh, man. Mike, what you got? Thank you for the support, y'all. Appreciate y'all. All I wanted to say about this episode was shout out to all the active Black fathers, because that's all the parents you seem to see. Yeah, man. And shout out to the moms. The moms was there. Moms was there. But yes, the Black dads was absolutely there, showing out and being available and present for their kids. Shout out to Hank and Leroy. Thank you so much for bringing that up. All right, let's see. Let's get back to it. But yes, after Pennywise made his little racist comments, just for no reason. Oh, man. Anyway, Leroy, he runs over because he needs Halloran's help. But Halloran is going through it himself. He's seeing dead people come through the walls, they crawling on the floor. I mean, my man is really going through it mentally at this point. You know, keep in mind the box is open, so his mind is racing with all these voices. And not only is the box open, but keep in mind at the black spot, Pennywise made all these visions see him. So all these dead spirits or whatever, they're not walking around aimlessly. Now they're actively bothering Halloran at this point. So this is driving him crazy. Leroy runs in and he finds Halloran's like, yo, I'm done with this. Like, I cannot take this. And Leroy tells him, like, yo, Pennywise got my kid. He got Will. And he's begging Halloran for his help. And finally, thankfully, you know, Halloran does agree. We do see that the mist is getting worse. The general heard that that Leroy was AWOL. And if you notice, he didn't care nothing about that, right? But then he also learned that Halloran was with him. And that's when everything got his attention. He said, hold on, wait a minute. One black is gone, no big deal. But two of the blacks are missing, including the magical Negro? Oh, hell no. You see all the concern on his face when the magical Negro goes missing? Oh, that's a big deal now. Okay, that's a real big deal. So yes, that definitely got his attention. And now the military is on notice that Halloran and Hanlon are out. But anyway, Leroy brings Dick over to Rose's place. And Charlotte, she is obviously upset because she's just now learning about Will being taken by Pennywise. And Rose mentions that they could use Halloran to help them find the other dagger. Keep in mind, this is the same thing that he did on Taniel, her nephew, when the military was using him. So, you know, and I want you to recall something here. The military folks, they destroyed the last pillar, right? So the plan here is to get to that tree, that deadwood, because that the placement of that tree, if the dagger is put there, it's going to close off the circle of energy that contains Pennywise. If you notice in the image here, each one of those pillars has a certain radius that powers that the energy connects to. So since the military took that one pillar out from under the ground, it's almost like there's a hole and there's a gap. And that's why Pennywise later on is rushing to that tree. That's why we have both people going to that tree, because if he crosses that tree, he escapes the barrier and he can no longer be contained. So that's the real, you know, just in case anybody missed that, that's why this is so important. And they're trying to basically say, hey, if we use the dagger, which is also part of the ship or the star that Pennywise fell from, that will close the loop and that will close the cage and keep Pennywise in there. Now, Rose gives Halloran some Maturin root tea. Now, keep in mind, Maturin is the name of the cosmic space turtle. Remember, we've been getting all these turtle references and Easter eggs throughout the entire show. He is the space turtle who is kind of like a godlike figure. He created the universe. He is also Pennywise's polar opposite. Sometimes they're referred to as brothers, but that turtle is basically the other force that helps in terms of destroying Pennywise later. Now, this is the closest reference we actually get directly to the turtle god. And this root that she uses, it's the very same that was given to Mike Hanlon in It Chapter 2. Remember, I kept telling y'all, watch Chapter 1 and watch Chapter 2 so you can catch all of these references, or you can watch it now again and a lot of things will make more sense. Now, keep in mind, in It Chapter 2, this root that they made this tea out of, this is how later on Mike from the Losers Club, that's how he learned about the he gave that same tea to Bill, and they were able to understand the origin of Pennywise. They were able to understand the ritual of Chud, and that's how they learned how to defeat Pennywise. So this route is very important because it kind of allows them to have a connection to where Pennywise came from, but at the same time, not really be evil and taken over. So this is very important, of course. Now, somebody help me out here. I didn't have the captions on when I was watching this, but Rose was trying to warn Halloran not to do something, but it was already too late. I didn't see what it was. I think it was around the 19-minute mark, if somebody can catch that. But she couldn't really warn him exactly what it was. I think she said something like, don't go through the wrong door or something like that. But Halloran was already going through it. He was already on his psychedelic trip. And oh, it didn't say anything. Okay, well, I guess we never gonna know. But I think she was saying don't go through the wrong door, because you can go through different doors in certain people's minds and you can get lost forever. But he's going down his psychedelic trip, and while he's going on this trip, he also can see he can see Marge, and he sees the girls that are driving. Speaking of which, they crash into a tree, the dagger falls out, and Halloran can see the whole thing. So, they all set out to go find them. He sees, he is definitely tripping there. So everybody heads out to go find the girls. And we learn from Rose that the dagger has some properties, right? So one of the things that happens with the dagger is that the further away it gets from home or from the other pieces of the star, the more the dagger wants to go back, right? Like it will want to go back to its original source. Not to mention, it also damages your mind. So it will drive you crazy. And would you look at that? Here comes Lily, and we've been seeing this throughout the last couple episodes where Lily's been holding on tight to the dagger, and we see it's been taking its toll on her mind, and she's already starting to lose it. The other girls are starting to notice. Lily gets paranoid, runs away. They tackle her, and the girls, they do manage to actually take the dagger away, and right then the dagger, it does start to glow. And they also agree to start rotating who gets the dagger, so that way it doesn't like make them all crazy. And they can see from across the way the kids that were floating and Pennywise crossing the frozen water. Now the girls, as they go over there, they do see the kids, and they find Will floating up there as well. And that's when Pennywise comes out and approaches them. And that is until Ronnie, come on through, my girl Ronnie. She should have had the dagger the whole time. But Ronnie pulls out that dagger and says, "Get back, Satan." Okay, hold him back. And Pennywise was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's not get too crazy. Okay, let's not get too crazy. And he falls back into the darkness. But while he's in the mist, he grabs Marge and he separates her from the rest of the people. Now, this is where we get into the interesting stuff. He calls her Margaret Dozier, right? And she's like, wait a minute, that ain't my last name. And he was like, oh, eventually you will become the mother of Richie Dozier from the Losers Club. And he says that her kid and his friends will bring about his death. But he says something more important where he's like, or is it my birth? I don't know. He confuses tomorrow and yesterday. It's all the same for him. He clearly sees time differently, right? He's basically, yes, just gonna say that. He's basically like Dr. Manhattan, right? So what happens in the past, what happens in the future, what happens in the present, it's all one thing for him, right? He doesn't see time linearly the way we do. It all just happens for him all at once. Now, I will give you guys my theory on why that is. Now, the show is going to give you an explanation, and I don't personally agree with it yet. I'm going to, we'll get into it a little bit later, but I have a simpler explanation that I think also matches the books that can explain why Pennywise is able to do this. That is what I'm going to put in my next video. But it is something that I do believe will be something for us in the later episodes, if they do the other seasons. Now, what is important about this is that, because of this time element, it is possible that if Pennywise kills Marge, then the losers may never be formed, right? He might actually be able to change time. And this is something I need y'all to really understand, because this is not the first time that time travel or time elements have been discussed or brought up in the It franchise. Once again, I told y'all, go watch chapter 2. In chapter 2, you get another hint, another instance of time being manipulated, and this is yet just doubling down on that. So we have this reference here. Again, I'll go into it with another video. It's a little bit much. It's more that we have to go into. So I'll go into that later. But just keep in mind that it is possible, or at least Pennywise believes it is, that time and the events can change. So if we do get a season 2, which I'm sure we will, the stakes are going to be high in terms of Pennywise could actually undo a lot of things. He could. It is possible. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit more as well. So Marge is still like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're saying. This is just crazy, And just when Pennywise is like, yep, I'm about to go, kill your little friends, your son, and all of that stuff. That's the boy. Oh, Tozier. Thank you. That's the Richie that he was talking about in the future. And she's freaking out. And just then he's like, hey, it's lunchtime, right? He's about to go for the kill. He's about to take her, but then he is frozen in place. And as you can see here, he can't move at all, but he is doing the smooth criminal lean right there. And all the kids, as he's frozen, start to wake up from their trance. They stop floating, and the adults finally come in and unite with them. And as they're united, Leroy now has the dagger. First of all, I was waiting for this moment. This was the moment I was like, hold on, the man without fear. I'm gonna need him to go one-on-one with Pennywise, with this dagger, because that had to have been the end of Pennywise right there. But we didn't get that. Anyway, both Leroy and Taniel head for the Deadwood so that they can plant the dagger, but the military shoots both of them down. They shot Leroy in the leg, but Taniel got hit in the neck. He dead. Leroy then gives the dagger to Will and tells him to go bury it in the Deadwood, but Will is scared out of his mind. But Leroy says, hey, cut all that out. Go put that thing in the tree like I told you, boy. All right, now we go, and General Shaw can see Pennywise for the first time, and of course he's sitting there really wondering what is going on. And now we get to go into Pennywise's mind, and Pennywise is back at the circus, and they all are talking to him, and they talking to him like he's Bob. Pennywise like, my name ain't Bob. I'm not Bob Gray for real. What are y'all talking about? And Pennywise got mad, right? They talking to him any kind of way. He's like, man, I am the eater of worlds. Okay, I am a god. What are you doing? How dare you talk to me like that? And that ringleader said, smack, smack, gave him a 2-piece slap from the front and the back and said, Bob, you better chill out. Okay, you doing the most. And Pennywise like, what the hell is going on around here? This is some crazy stuff, So anyway, Pennywise is tripping, and Will tries to bring the dagger forward, but it does start to push back. Remember, this is what Rose was referring to when she said that the further away you take it, the more it's going to want to bring you back, right? It's going to go back. And it actually started to mess with Will's mind. it started to actually sit. He was like, no, I got to take it back, right? But of course, this is when the girls joined together, and they came together to help him. One thing you might notice in Stephen King's universe is that the power of touch, right? Like when they hold hands, when they hug, if they kiss, things like that kind of break the spell, or it kind of gives a different type of power to these kids or to anybody. And that's what really helps break some of these cycles and stuff. So Will found strength once his friends like touched him and they were holding him and they were trying to bring him back. So this is where he was able to find the courage to keep going along the way. Excuse me. Now, meanwhile, okay, here comes General Goofy, and he is sitting here talking to Pennywise, and he's promising him, hey, whatever Hanlon's doing to you, we gonna free you up. We gonna free you up. So he's sitting there smelling Pennywise's breath the whole time, right? And now, keep in mind, the military, they found Hanlon and they disrupted him, right? They moved him, and that's when we see the Carney was actually in blackface or whiteface or white hand. I don't know, black hand, whatever you want to call it. And Pennywise noticed immediately. He was like, oh, tricky, dicky. And he said, oh, we playing games like that? Okay, bet. And just like that, Pennywise started to realize, like, nope, use a black man. And you know what's first of all, shout out to Dick Halloran. My man found out how to do the whole gotcha switcheroo in his mind, because keep in mind, this is what Pennywise has been doing with everybody else, right? Pennywise will go in your mind, set up a whole distraction, and really have you believe it. And this might have been the first time that someone pulled that trick back on Pennywise. Now, of course, Pennywise is much more powerful, so he can see through these illusions, but he almost got. Right? Shout out to Dick Halloran for coming up with that. So this, of course, wakes him up, and now he's out of the trance. And here comes, goofy General Shaw telling him, all right, man, you free. You's free. You can go out there in the world, create fear, eat all the children that you want to eat, And Pennywise was like, say less. I'm out of here. I hold on, wait a minute. Is that? I smell biatch. Yes, I remember that smell. Yeah, remember me from 1908? With the scary little skeleton man. Yes, he was like, I'll never forget a smell. I remember you. Before I go, I'm hungry. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Yeah, he was like, no, you dead. He dead. General Shaw is out of here, playing with the devil, playing with fire, and got burned. Okay, he's out of here. Meanwhile, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You see these kids, they out here struggling. Everybody is struggling. And what is Pennywise doing? This is what I'm talking about with the pettiness. This man is skipping and frolicking on the ice on his way to freedom. He does anything. I've never seen such a carefree villain like this before. Anyway, Leroy is telling the military, hey man, y'all need to shoot Pennywise right now. But of course, they're going to ignore them. And once again, we have another classic situation of a black man staring at one another without saying no words. So once again, allow me to translate what these brothers were saying while they was looking at each other. Leroy looked over to him and was like, hey man, these mofos done lost their minds, right? Did you see that clown thing skating on the ice? These crackers ain't about to do nothing about it. Halloran was like, I sure did. Yes, sir. Leroy was like, okay, hey, we gonna have to take these fools out. Are you ready? Halloran was like, yeah, man, I'm ready. Just let me know when. And Leroy was like, all right, man, we doing this on the count of 3, right? And out of nowhere, Hank was like, hey, y'all ain't said nothing but a word, boss. I'm ready. Let's do this right now. And what happened after all that communication? Now, once again, this happened in like 3 seconds, but I need y'all to know that's exactly what ended up happening between those stairs between them, right? Anyway, they did what exactly they said they was gonna do, and they disarmed those military folks just like that. Anyway, Pennywise is mocking the kids as he heads for freedom and continues to frolic. And as he's about to as he's making fun of them, a whole chunk of his head just goes flying away, and starts floating. And that's because Leroy is out here popping him with these shots, hitting him with them buckshots right to the dome. And Pennywise falls to the ground as more of his head just starts floating in the air. Blood starts floating. But of course, you can't just like shoot Pennywise, but you can slow him down, right? Shooting him does slow him down. And as he continues to struggle, Leroy keeps on shooting him. But then, of course, he runs out of bullets. I'm a little disappointed. I'm like, sir, you are a military man. How do you not know how many bullets are in there? Anyway, it's fine. Pennywise comes back anyway. And while the kids are struggling, he hits Leroy with them deadlights, and down goes Leroy. Okay, once again, this paralyzes you. It makes you just, unconscious or whatever. And, as Pennywise starts to reconstruct himself, the dagger starts to push back against the kids even more. The further it gets, the harder it becomes. And now Pennywise is getting closer and closer. Just then, come on. Rose feels something, but she can't see it. But Halloran, he looks over and feels a presence, and he can't see it. Y'all, there's a little kid and the warrior chief are in the presence. And who is it? It's none other than our boy Richie. Our boy Richie comes running in the 4th quarter. 2 seconds left on the clock. Said, hey, what's up, Pennywise? He waves hello to Pennywise and runs over to be with his friends. Pennywise like, who the hell brought in the extra man? How y'all keep getting all this help? What is this? Y'all can't be cheating like this. He don't like it, and he starts turning into some weird bat-looking thing or something and comes after these kids. And Richie joins up with his friends and gives them the extra little push they need. But Pennywise is on their neck, and he comes real close to get them. But now the power of friendship prevails once again, and they blow this mother sucker all the way back. And all the energies link up. Now that they've made that connection with the pillar, as you can see visually, all the things are linked up. And the cage is now closed up. And that is when Pennywise is knocked back. And you start to notice something. His face starts to peel away. Now, I believe, we're starting to see him, the different terrors that he used against the kids specifically. Remember, that was the pickle man. That was Lily's dad. That was the, what was that? That was the baby in the theater or whatever. So like all these things that used to scare the kids, I believe, are now being pushed away. They're peeled away. Those kids are no longer afraid of those things. So he can't use that against them anymore. I think that's what we saw in that peeling away moment. And he reverts back, as you see, to his light form. And he goes back to his original hole. And, of course, the winner, the kids are celebrating. They're happy. But, Rose finds her nephew Taniel, and she is mourning him. I really thought that Taniel was actually going to make it. I thought that Taniel was actually going to grow up and become one of the elders that helps the losers later on. But yeah, Taniel did not make it here at all. And we see here that the dagger is in place, and it is exactly where it needs to be to keep Pennywise in check. Now we fast forward to the funeral for my boy Richie, and Marge is giving her final words. And Dick can see Rich comforting his friends Also, notice something here. Rich's eyes are not white, right? He's able to see Halloran without Halloran having to get his attention. Remember, in the past, he used to, all the dead people that Halloran would see, they had just white eyes and they couldn't notice him. But maybe this is because of the tea that he drank, but Richie was able to actually see him. And that's a different shift right there that I think is pretty interesting. And you know, we see Richie here comforting his friends, but then he's also comforting his parents. And that's where we see Halloran coming in to let them know, like, hey, your boy is actually there with you. And I think this is where we start to see the Dick Halloran that we later see in the future movies, the one that's actually the much more comforting, the much more understanding, the much more empathetic one. Keep in mind, if you go back and watch Dick Halloran in the beginning of this series, Dick don't care about nobody like that. My man was like, man, whatever. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Like, he did not care about people like that. But now he's got a lot softer. He's a much more kinder Dick Halloran. So, you know, I think that was kind of cool that we could see that bit of a change in him. Now we also see Rich's plane. It did finally make it to Main Street after all, which was what he was always trying to do. And Marge was there to see it. Lily got her little closure. She was finally able to go see her dad or visit her dad's grave. And Marge, she mentioned, now here we go. Marge mentioned how Pennywise talked to her. You know, Marge wonders if Pennywise can go back into time. Now, again, this is the perfect setup for season 2, right? Now, I don't personally believe that Pennywise can time travel, right? So keep in mind, Pennywise, all he said was that today, tomorrow, yesterday, it's all the same for him, right? But Marge is kind of throwing the idea out of like, yo, he might be able to time travel, and that's going to be really messed up, because what if he goes back and tries to kill one of their parents, you know, or whatever? Because keep in mind, time can still be changed. They can still affect stuff, right? So maybe I don't think that Pennywise will physically go back in time, but his knowledge is something that can be constant. So, what I think we will see is, yes, we will go back to the 1930s or 1908, whatever. We'll go back to the Bradley Gang massacre, right? And maybe the kids' parents, maybe Marge, Lily's parents, maybe they will know. My God, I just thought of something. It could be the case. I just wonder, do y'all think Pennywise killed Lily's dad? I don't know the timing. I think we would have to look at the timing, but I just wonder if Pennywise had something to do with Lily's father's death. I don't think the timing, yeah, because I think he was asleep, so I don't think it works. Anyway, I think what we will see in the next season is Pennywise will already exist because he was already there, but he will say things from the future that won't make sense to people in 1935, but it will make sense to us, just like he did with Marge right now, when he was like, oh yeah, the losers and that club, they're gonna kill me later on, you know, just like that happened. We will see more instances. So I don't think that's him traveling back in time, but he will have knowledge of the future to try and change events. So I think that's the closest we will get to time travel, so to speak, with Pennywise in the future seasons. So that's definitely going to be kind of interesting, and it's going to be, I think, fun for us, the audience, to have that kind of inside information. Anyway, the kids, they was like, well, that's gonna be somebody else's, you know, deal. Somebody else gonna have to deal with that, you know, with this pseudo time travel. Anyway, Halloran visits the Hanlons. He says that he's got a new little job coming up, you know, at a little hotel where he might be a cook. And of course, this is where we get the big reference to Halloran going over to the hotel in The Shining. And I will say, I was a little disappointed. I was sitting here like, man, Dick Halloran just got some brand new powers with The Shining. He just fought against a whole new entity. I need a Dick Halloran spinoff. Like, from before this man makes it to the hotel, on his journey, on his travels, we need a Dick Halloran spinoff immediately. Get Chris Chalk. Listen, I know he gonna come across something. Dick Halloran could be the connective tissue between other Stephen King stuff. Maybe he goes through a town with the mist. Maybe he goes through I don't know, like whatever. Maybe he meets Rick Flag. Whatever the case is, we need more Halloran. Okay, HBO, do you want all the monies or not? Just tell me now, because if you come up with a Dick Halloran spinoff, I'm there. I am there. Anyway, Charlotte. So yeah, he's talking with Leroy now. Charlotte says her goodbyes to Hank, who we know he's now going to get help from Rose's friends, because they're going to help him get a new identity and cross the border and stuff like that. And we also find out that Leroy got released from the military in exchange for him to never mention what happened. So when you watch It Chapter 1 and you see Mike Hanlon's grandfather, that's Leroy, now we know he just swore never to say nothing, right? Now, what's interesting here is that Rose suggests that him and Charlotte, they would be the perfect type of people to keep an eye on the military, because we already know the military is going to do that funny business with Pennywise again. And she said that she can't take care of the farm by herself, so she wants them to take it over. And oh, by the way, it'll only be 27 years until the killer clown comes back. And Leroy was like, yeah, nah, we out of here. We out of here. But I want y'all to pay attention to something. Did anybody else catch that? Did anybody else catch what happened? Because one of the questions I had was, how and why the hell would anybody who just saw all that nonsense decide to stay? Why would you do that? Let's go back. I showed it to you. You probably missed it in the show too. Look at what happened. Look at what happened. He drank the water. He drank the water. Do you all remember the problem here? The water of Derry is contaminated. The water of Derry has been contaminated ever since Derry was founded. The water of Derry has the shedding of Pennywise's skin or whatever, his body. So every time people drink the water, they get a little bit more Pennywized. Maybe they forget stuff. Maybe they become meaner. Maybe they become, more apathetic. That is a problem. So I'm wondering, in my mind, drinking that messed up water, is that what changed his mind to stay? Because I'm sitting here like, she didn't give him the tea. If she gave him the tea, that'd be different. She gave him the straight up contaminated water. First of all, why are any of the Native Americans drinking any of the water in Derry? Y'all know the water is contaminated. I need y'all to be drinking straight bottled water, straight up. Like, there's no reason why y'all still drinking this nasty water, and it's got this creature's bodily excrements in there. Anyway. So they decide, then we get Will and we get Ronnie. They had a nice little moment. Will was talking too much and Ronnie planted one on him, and he ain't never gonna forget that. Let's just be clear. And Charlotte considers Rose's offer, and they end up changing their mind to stay in Derry. And meanwhile, Ronnie was like, I'm out of here. Her dad was like, we done, we out, bye. Bye, Derry. And we probably never will hear from Ronnie and her family again. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. We don't need to. And this is where we get our biggest clue that hell yeah, we're going to get some more Derry. This was Welcome to Derry chapter 1, season 1. You know what that means. That means we need a chapter 2. We need a chapter 3. We can keep going with some more chapters actually out of that. Come on now. Okay. We can definitely do that. Now we go to Juniper Hill, and that's where we see Mrs. Kirsch. And of course, remember, she got hit with them deadlights, and so she's a little crazy right now. And they played one of her favorite songs to help calm her down. And once again, if you watched it, chapter 2, this is the same song that Pennywise plays when the older Beverly meets her in the apartment. So, once again, if you watch it chapter 2, you are going to see those little bit of connections. 26 years later, we see the older Mrs. Kirsch, and she's still in the mental hospital, and she's hearing screams, and down the hall, and remember, by the way, she used to hear those kind of screams before with them little kids, and that's when she was like, oh, Pennywise was going to be around. And she goes in, she sees a father and a daughter crying over a woman who hung herself. The dad is clearly abusive, and that's when we find out it's none other than Beverly Marsh herself from the Losers Club. It all connects together. And the same thing Mrs. Kirsch tells Beverly is exactly the same thing that Pennywise tells the older Beverly when she goes to that apartment in chapter 2. And that is it. That is it for it. Boy. Woo! That was a hell of an episode. That was a hell of an episode. Let me grab these comments real quick. Let's see, Derek. It's the military that opened the portal to the mist. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. They do open the portal to the mist. I do wonder if, because in Stephen King's works, he has like a multiverse. So I mean, the military are to blame. Let's just put it at that. They're to blame for releasing it, which in a sense, I guess you could say is releasing the portal. And they're to blame in the mist as well. So, you know, there you go. Puma, what you got? Pennywise is a cast down demon from the heavens. Sure. Yeah. Let's see. Derek, what you got? I get it. The Arrowhead project that opens the portals in the mist. The military was trying to find another to it. Possibly, right? Like that all of this connects one way or another. All of it. Lisa, thank you so much. Email, your reviews are great. Oh, thank you so much. Humorous and insightful. Welcome to Derry was a good distraction while waiting for the return of From. You already know. Keep up the great work. Lisa, thank you so much. I appreciate the contribution and the support so very, very much. All right. So, just so to give you guys a heads up, I will, because I really didn't want nobody to steal this. I'm gonna have to put the theory video together, but my theory is primarily going to be about how do I even want to say it? Because I know people be stealing. I ain't gonna say it, but it is gonna connect the ending of episode 8 and possibly give you a better connection for the future. So I'll give you that soon. I know certain channels be spying. We ain't gonna name no certain big channels that spy, steal theories, and then act like it's theirs. We ain't gonna name no names. But forget all that. Now is the time where I need you guys to tell me your rating for episode 8 of Welcome to Derry. While you do that, I will give you my thoughts on this episode. First and foremost, the writing was impeccable. I absolutely loved the little tidbits with the storytelling. I love how they made sure that the connections made sense with the movies. This made me want to go watch the movies. I'll be very honest. I didn't want to watch the movies. I saw them, but I didn't want to go back and rewatch them. This made me sit here and go spend 6 hours out of my time to go rewatch those films. And I enjoyed the movies a little bit more because of it. That is the job of that's the sign of a great show. When a show can make you go back and do the homework that you didn't already want to do, and then you actually like the homework, man. So the writing was impeccable. The cinematography. If you really go back to that whole ice scene, those shots of Pennywise with the kids, with everything, like that was shot so beautifully. The tension was built up perfectly, the suspense, the drama. I thought they really did a good job making this a really high tension, high suspense type of moment, which is what you expect in a season finale, right? This is how you end off a season by going out with a bang. And I think they did a good job, and especially goes back to the writing by giving me tidbits for the future. Now, here's the thing. They don't have to go back, right? They don't have to do more. I'm sure they will. But the fact that they gave me something to look forward to is everything. And I'm willing to say, like, man, at this point, I'm probably going to have to rewatch Welcome to Derry again when season 2 comes out. And I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. So I will say that this episode 9, had to be, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 10. This I don't even care. This was a great wrap to the story. I enjoyed it. Had a fantastic time watching it. Every time I watch it, I actually, get a little bit more out of it. So I love it. I love it. So anyway, let us see who has what are you guys thinking? We got 10, 10, 10, 8, 8.7, 9. We got 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9.89. We're gonna round that up to a 10. We got an 8.5, 10, 10, 10, 9.5. What else we got? 10, 9.5, 10, 8, 10. Shout out to my boy Richie. Richie boy, man, that man came in the club. First of all, he died for his woman. Then he said, I'm not done yet. A true knight comes and protects his friends. Come on through, Richie. 10, 10, 9.5, 10, 10, 8, 9, 10, 10. Got any more? 8. We're gonna round that down to 110. 9, 10, 8, 9.5, 10. I'm gonna round this down to 10 and another 10. All right. I think it's fair to say we really enjoyed this. Mike, what you got? Fun fact, Stephen King's Running Man had a fun Derry connection. I bet it did. So there's another show too. I mean, a lot of the Stephen King stuff connects one way or another, right? So like another one was Castle Rock, right? Castle Rock has that's a whole nother series, especially for my From folks. If you want something else to watch, that has a whole bunch of connections as well. So listen, I'm here for the macroverse. I'm here for it. I was already doing all these extra watching all these other videos and reading all these Wikipedias, trying to figure out all this stuff. And it's a lot, but good stuff either way. But hold on, I can't let y'all go just yet because I need to know, what does everyone think? What is your rating for the entire season 1, chapter 1 of Derry? We did episode 8, but now that you got the full season, what are you rating this whole show on a scale from 0 to 10? Let me give some thoughts. I loved the terrorizing of the children. I love that this show never held back. I love that this show stayed faithful for the most part to, I think, the intentions of the book. I like that they added more lore. I thought that the characters were very well developed. I enjoyed each and every one of them. I can't really recall a character that had bad dialogue or that was written poorly. I was satisfied with the ending. The journey to get there was cool. I think one of the most underrated things that we cannot lose sight of, though, is probably the emotional aspect that this show does. Like, this show really pulls at the heartstrings. And shout out to Andy Muschietti. Like, he really did a good job in making us feel. I mean, that black spot, it's one thing to hear about, oh, this place got burned down by some racists. Okay, that's sad. But it's another thing to like be inside. It's another thing to see the tragedy of people just burning and dying alive like that. They really tapped into it. And what I would really like, I like the fact that they didn't shy away from the time frame. Like, this is 1962. Jim Crow was still in full effect. Klan members were still running around. You still had race riots. They did not shy away from the real evils and the other supernatural evils. To balance both of those things was perfect. So I thought that they accomplished that feat. And just overall, like I mentioned with this season finale, the show was able to really make me care about the rest of the franchise and other parts outside of the franchise. We just sat here and talked about 4-5 different Stephen King adaptations that we wouldn't be talking about if it was not for this show. We wouldn't be talking about The Mist, Castle Rock, Shawshank, The Shining. We wouldn't be talking about them if this show didn't make us do that, and that has to get some credit. So to make us talk about those things, to make us care, some of y'all might actually go watch them. Cha-ching for Warner Brothers, right? That is definitely a feather they can put in their hat. But yeah, I think the writing was superb. Not too many slow episodes. Not too many. I think the worst episode might have been a 7.5, maybe, that we would have said. But outside of that, man, this had to have been one of the more unexpected, fun, and entertaining shows of 2025 so far. I mean, listen, I know Stranger Things is coming up, right? But at the same time, this accomplished it. So I think on a scale from 0 to 10, I've got to give Welcome to Derry, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 overall. I was extremely satisfied with this. I am definitely looking forward to the future, and I can't wait. But let me see, how do the people feel? How do y'all feel about the whole season of Welcome to Derry? Let's see where the people fell with this. Let me start at the right one. There we go. 10, 8, 10, 9, 10, 8.5, 9, 9, 10, 9, 9.5, 9, 9, 10, 9, 8, 10, 9, 10, 10, 9, 7, 8, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8. Great. Which one is it? Is it 10 or 8? I don't know which one it is. 10, 10, 9.5, 9, 10. Who else did I see? Okay, rating at 8 and a 9. Okay, all right. 8.75. Hold on, we got some more coming in. 9, 9, 9.5. 9.5, 9, 9.5, 8.5. Who else? Who else? I got 10, 10. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe it. I don't believe this either. Not to say that y'all can't have your opinions. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. But 8, 9, 10, and a 10. All right. Hey, guys, I think we really enjoyed Welcome to Derry. I think that is fair to say, right? Oh, okay. You had a 10. Okay, I want to make sure. Thank you so much, Greg. Appreciate you. All right, guys, that is not it. Hold on. You got Puma. Shout out for the support. Netflix shouldn't change HBO format for episodes. First of all, let's not speak that into existence because Netflix has not bought HBO yet. So there's still hope. Still hope somebody else will get it. We have to talk about that later. But anyway, hold on, 60 plus. What you got? When Halloran said he was going to work at a hotel, he was referring to the hotel in The Shining. Yes, that is exactly. He was going to the Overlook Hotel. He's going to The Shining. He's going to be the cook over there and start his journey with all them demons over there and red rum. So yes, he is going straight to The Shining. But I still think my man needs to, he needs to have some side adventures. He got to go somewhere else. It only makes sense to me. But y'all let me know what you think. Do you have any other questions about this show? I saw somebody that says some things didn't make sense. Feel free to leave those comments, down, and maybe we can answer them. Maybe if I have time, I'll answer them. Like I said, I have to put a lot of information together in this video to explain my theory of what I believe is coming up next. So please stay tuned for that. I'm gonna have to work on that like all tomorrow. Anyway, I think that's it. We will be back here, back to our regular scheduled time. I apologize. No live this weekend. Had a little 13th year anniversary. No big deal. Me and the wife had to hang out. Shout out to her for putting up with me for 13 years. It's kind of wild. Man, talk about the strength of the Black Panther and the woman. But anyway, I want to thank you all for your well wishes as well. Appreciate all of y'all for that. Really does mean a lot. So we will meet back here. Dang, man, this sucks. We ain't got no more Derry to watch. I was kind of looking forward to doing more, but I hate it when we come to the end of a show, But anyway, hey, listen, From is coming up. From has wrapped up filming. It's time. If there was ever a time to start rewatching, you need to rewatch right now. Matter of fact, I got another theory I got to cook up with that. So I'm gonna give y'all some stuff in the meantime. I got some From fresh theories, brand new theories. I don't know if anybody's come up with them because I don't watch nobody else's theories, but it's gonna be new to me. But I'm gonna get y'all something. We don't know exactly when From is coming back. We just know it's coming back in 2026. So if I had to guess, don't take my word for it, probably in the spring time, March, April, maybe, because I know even when they were giving us the screeners for it, they still were editing stuff. So that was something in itself. But anyway, I got to work on some Derry theories and then I'll work on the From stuff later. But in the meantime, guys, hold on. Ooh, no more Chiefs. Yeah, them Chiefs they done. Sorry for your boy. The Bears won. The Packers lost. But them Chiefs are out of there. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for your loss, bro. I'm sorry. But the Bears won. Did I say the Bears won? Yeah, the Bears won. All right. We're out of here, guys. All right. Have a good week. You know the routine. Wash your hands, wash your butts, and everything in between. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.